luckily I'm very, very fortunate with that because I'm a sunny person. I wake up every day smiling, and I think that makes my life much easier. I think within all of us there is a certain affinity for music. You can see that by how people react to concerts, by how they're passionate about their favorite stars, by how they listen all the time to music. And in my case, I was lucky to simply discover it by chance. As a child, you do many things. I skied, I swam, I started playing piano at age 5 as sort of a fortuitous series of events where a preschool teacher said, you should start in music. My parents told a friend as a sort of joke. The friend said, we have a piano, we can bring it, and he can start on a very old piano. And I suppose that music found me more than I found music. It's taken me on an incredible journey, and of course, I'm very committed to my art. But I am fortunate that at a young age, we found each other. Canada is an incredible country for artists, for musicians, for actors. Considering how small it is in population, we've had an incredible number of world-famous pop actors, but also in classical music. And I don't really know how to justify that, what the reasons for that are. But I think part of it probably is our space, our nature, and perhaps our cold, long winters, forcing us to do other things. I'm not sure what it is, but certainly it has some influence. Now, as far as my Polish heritage, the European culture, the European roots certainly have an influence and importance in what I do. The most common question follow-up to that would be people ask, well, as a Pole, do you play Chopin in a special way? Do you have a special affinity? As a Pole, I love Chopin, as all Poles do, but as a pianist, I think I like Chopin simply for who he is as a composer. So music, of course, being an international world, an international language, as the cliche goes, I think that I have this international balance, and I'm able to approach it from sort of a neutral perspective. Actually, it's funny because you're still thinking about what you're doing. Until the very last second of the note, the risk is that you think too early that you're finished, and then the focus is gone, and then you have true problems. But while playing, even if the audience thinks, oh, it's already finished, I'm still thinking about when to release, for example, the sound. That's what I was thinking at the moment, was when exactly to finish that note for attention. But then afterwards, I've never actually thought if there's a thought afterwards. Of course, hopefully there's a feeling of satisfaction. That's the ideal. Often there's also many thoughts of what I could do different, what I could change, what I could improve upon, because in what we do there isn't perfection. We're always working towards a better ideal, a new ideal. And that actually keeps you going, that keeps you inspired, because you're always working on making something better and never become stagnant. For us, then Dali. I'm not a huge Dali fan because it's so like overthought. Everything it takes months, and then in a day I put it all together, you know. And you have this idea in your mind. I think it's on the one hand, music is certainly a reflection of your own personal experiences. On the other hand, it can also be an incredible escape for many composers and many artists alike. Performing, making art, even when we look around here in this room, the art created is not necessarily a reflection of your deeper innermost emotions, but a reflection of perhaps your dreams or your ambitions or simply your imagination. And that's always based on what you do, and that's why I also come to places like this, because I get so inspired by looking at what others do, by hearing other concerts, by hearing other music. Lived a lot of her life in New Mexico, in the States, of course New York and so on, but New Mexico was where she ended her life, and she had this little adobe. So, of course it comes from the innermost emotion. Of course you're, in a sense, you're not so much naked on stage, but bare. You bare yourself. Every feeling that you have, you leave it out for the whole audience. So you step out and suddenly you're sharing those very intimate things with strangers, with strangers. So yes, it's difficult, but on the other hand, so has everybody else here, and I think you have to just embrace that and enjoy it, and I certainly do. That's for others to judge. I certainly think I was fortunate because my parents were very supportive and very helpful, but have always kept me true to who I am. And another thing that actually helped very much, not so much because I think I'm quite grounded, but also just in showing me that the world is about so much more than just concerts, is the pandemic, actually. Because suddenly from having about 100 concerts a year, there was maybe 50, and so I had more time for other things, for gardening, for going camping, for being out in nature, from going for bike rides and having a bit of a normal life, so to speak. So then suddenly I realized that music is wonderful. I love it. It's my life, 100%. But life has so much more to offer, and I'm happy in both spheres of existence.